Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Very good
So
morning, everyone. Yeah.
yes. So very good morning, everyone. So it's been a long, like we haven't connected like this. Like yeah, we did a small quick meetup here last week, but we haven't connected like this meetup, a long meetup with a very good Flutter content. So yeah, we are here with the new Flutter contents. So how have you all been doing, Binods? Probably. Okay. So I hope you all guys are doing really well. And meanwhile, is as the lockdown is being like is waved off, and but yeah, still Corona is here only. So hope we are going. Hope you guys are taking care of yourself and your family. Uh, Beside of that, in today's talk, we will be learning how we can actually create a cross-platform application that really runs on all the platforms, including Android and iOS. That is the first thing. But beside of that, if you required, you can also run your same Flutter application in web, Windows, and Mac OS, and Linux. If you also want to go for Raspberry Pi OS and all other stuff, you can. You need to do some quick stuff, but yeah, you can. So in this talk, we will be learning about building a cross-platform application along with Shivam Srivastava. So talking about Shivam Srivastava, he is a mobile solution architect at enriched.ai.com. He is also developing and transforming application at Naoki.com, writing blogs at Naoki.com. So actually, he is the founder of Naoki.com. So and beside of that, along with he also runs the YouTube channel where he said try to share his knowledge, his learning with us. And yeah, beside, and also we were part of a UDC scholarship back in 2018, where he was also selected as a scholar, and I was there too in for the Android Nano degree. And one of his story also published in the Udacity blog. Has It's about life as a Udacity student by Shivam Srivastava, or should I say of Shivam Srivastava. So he's the
Taking
man.
you Shivam for now, Bhavik. The name
Yeah,
gets too longer.
Shivam. Yeah. Okay. So this is what
Okay.
I know about Shivam. So let's hear from him only. Let's start
Yeah.
the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Bhavik, Sunny, Poonam. Thank you, Bharat, for this opportunity. So I will not waste some times on like introduction and what we are going to do about. So let's start the presentation first. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Shivam, you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely Shivam.
Just a minute. Hello everyone. Thank you for your taking some time on Sunday and welcome to the this presentation on building truly cross-platform app with Flutter. So as you already know that Flutter is working with the making the apps cross-platform. It works on the Android mobile, for the web browsers and for the desktop on all three OS. So I'm an Android developer as a job. I'm working in Android around 5 years, and last 2 years I'm working totally on Flutter also. So during working on the Flutter, what I seen that there were many applications regarding mobile, Android and iOS. That's good, but Flutter is all about truly cross-platform. That what we can do and implement other than mobile with web and with desktop. So I search with some materials and I look for apps that someone has made or something, but I didn't find any content for that. So when I started working on it, Flutter for all platform, I looked everywhere. So in the start, I have no idea like how things works. I have not developed any desktop application before. So and I was familiar with the client web applications and servers, but not with the desktop application. So it took some time to research everything, what is happening in the all three platforms. Hi guys, my name is Shivam Srivastava. I'm a mobile solution architect at enrichai.com. I'm founder at Navoki.com. I work in Android, Flutter, and Dart. I also have a YouTube channel and a website, Navoki.com. You can follow me at this handle, the Shivam LKO, at Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, Insta. And you can subscribe to my channel, Navoki. So what my company does, where I work, they work in, first some introduction about my company, that they work on the IoT, AI solutions, computer visions. So my work is to implement all these features regarding data points and real-time tracking of all IoT sensors through Flutter apps, and we create B2B business apps. So Ordo is one of our, is one of the international telecommunication company that we work with, and we make Flutter apps for them also. It's a B2B app. So most of the question that people ask, that how much Flutter is stable, how much Flutter is going to use in IT industry. It's not limited to the startup environment. It's not limited to the startup environment. Only big MNCs are also adopting Flutter. So if you are thinking to learn Flutter and make some applications, you can go for it. About something about Navoki.com, that Navoki.com is what I've made a website and a YouTube channel that is totally dedicated for the Flutter and Dart, where the tutorial is about if you're a blog person, you like to read some blogs, then you can read articles on it. And if you are a video person, you can see lessons on the website or on the YouTube channel. So most lessons are not about just simply how to install Flutter and everything. It's simply what we not find usually on the resources. Like one of this at the starting, I made how to make Flutter web and how to make Flutter desktop app. These videos, and there are many more advanced videos are available on the channel. So what will we do today? In this session, we are going to make a Flutter app for mobile, web, and desktop. We will see how to handle responsive UI if we are making application for mobile, web, and desktop. We are not going into deep with the responsive UI. Like there is some making a responsive UI is a very big topic. There are various widgets that you can work with. And then there is a demo of Navoki Notes. Navoki Notes is an open source project that I've made with Flutter and Firebase. So this app works on mobile, web, and desktop. And this application is also available on the GitHub profile. You can check on it, and also available on the Google Play Store and the Snapcraft as a Linux app store that recently Google announced that Linux app can be published. So this app is also available on the Snap Store. Let's start with how to make a Flutter app. So Flutter app for mobile, you already familiar with how to work. These work with the mobile application. From the Flutter, you can make Android and iOS code. And we are not going into how to install these Flutter SDK on your system. We are assuming that Flutter SDK and environment part is already set. We are going next step, that how to implement all these environments. So Flutter SDK, when Flutter is working with the app platform, it does not work directly with the platform. So as the Android needs Android SDK and the iOS needs Xcode for the, these are the development SDK builds that is required that work with Flutter to make some application. The Android releases an APK version and the iOS app runs a .app version that you can upload on App Store. We will create a project, but let's first discuss how things are working, like in the all the three platforms. In the web part also, the Flutter is you can use to make client applications on the browser. Flutter is for the UI purpose that you can use, and when you are going to publish it on the web part, it's going to build in HTML and JS format. Okay, so everything Flutter is doing for you. But working with the Flutter is not the only thing that will achieve you great feature and functionality if you are making a good web apps with this. For this, you will also need Dart. As you know, other than Flutter Web, you can use Dart also with HTML to make Dart web application, just like any other web scripting language. So you can use Dart for many other JavaScript features or third-party integrations with HTML, and you can integrate with Flutter Web to make a feature-rich application, a web application. So it's a combination of both. So this is what I've learned. Flutter is okay with the UI, but if you are adding more features to it, more functionality, third-party, and any integration, you need some Dart web integration also. So how to work with Flutter? How to enable Flutter SDK? So we are going to open a PowerShell. So to enable a web SDK, if your Flutter is already installed, you have to type flutter config enable. Now, if the setting is enabled to 2, that means your Flutter web support for the SDK is already enabled. You have to restart your terminal to work on it. Now, next time you will make any project other than Android and iOS, a web project will be also created. So let's make a project. We will do one by one. So here is a application. I have made this a blank application, a simple application with the Android and iOS. And there is a main Dart with a simple counter application. Okay. But you can see that there is a web windows already made, but I did not create it. So what it was, because the settings was enabled in my Flutter SDK, it already enabled Windows and web support. So I'm going to delete it first, and we will try it again. So this is a normal. So this is a normal project with the Android applications and iOS application. I am going to add a web support. To add a web support, there are two ways. One is this way is not a preferred way. If you are going to type flutter create dot, then it will create all the platform that your SDK supported, whether it's web or desktop. That's not the preferred way, but it will work. So the better way is to write a specific platform. And a dot in the end. Now you can see a web support has been added in this Flutter application. Now let's run this application. Okay, one thing I missed before enabling the SDK that I forgot. Before working on the web part and the desktop part, you need to switch to your channel. You need to switch to the master channel. That only way it works. Flutter web and desktop doesn't work with the stable channel. It works with the master and div channel you can work with. So I personally work with the master channel. You can also try in the div channel, but it will not work in the stable channel. Okay, so I'm going to, this is a default application in the Flutter, that is the counter application. Now I'm going to run it in the web part. So to run it, type flutter run -D, Chrome. Chrome is targeted for web application, the client app. Okay, so our counter application is launched here. Okay, so this is our basic home page for the web application. Now we are going to just run similar dummy project on the desktop version also. But before we are going to use, we need to add some UI so you can see like how the actually app works. So what I'm going to, I've already worked with. Okay, let's go to presentation first. Okay, so we have run the web app. Okay. Yeah, for the desktop app, we can go with. For the Windows app also needs some SDK. So this works with Visual Studio 2019. What is the latest version? That will create a exe app for you. Again, if you are building a Mac OS application, you need a Xcode that is already installed while using your iOS application. That will make your runner app that you can make desktop application for Mac OS. And then with your Ubuntu OS and some Linux tool change, there are some series of tool change, we will discuss that. That will create a .snap file that you can use and upload on the Linux App Store. So overall configuration for desktop is also same. For the web, it was simply a web. For the desktop, we need to mention Flutter config, enable your OS name, that is Windows, Mac OS or Linux -desktop. This will enable the settings in your Flutter SDK. Hi, is my screen?
Yeah, sure. If you can just present it again, that a lot of people aren't able to see them. And for the people who are in now, you might wish to pin this presentation and ensure that you haven't pinned yourself or anyone else on, just to have a better visibility and smooth presentation ongoing.
What? The presentation is not available? Okay.
For some, I guess, from the chat box, it seems for some they are not able to see. So if you can just stop and present it again.
So I don't think that the Shivam needs to represent again. So Dishan just confirmed that the people who are watching this stream,
Yeah, just pin it.
whether they are from mobile or from the desktop or from the laptop, just search for the user called Shivam Srivastava and with the bracket presentation. Once you get
Oh
this,
yeah, that works.
just click on the icon, pin it, and then the particular screen will be pinned to your whole screen. So you will not get distracted.
So did you miss anything, something till now?
So they were able to see you for sure. But for coding purpose, if you guys have missed something, we are really sorry for that. But put it in the chat box, so he might take that specific session, like content up again. So we will get to know that. Don't worry, Shivam. They will confirm it in the chat box. So guys, again, pin the presentation screen, and yeah, you can get going, Shivam. Thank you.
So now you can share your, you are able to see the screen now, presentation?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so enable the desktop support in your Flutter SDK, you need to type flutter config enable your AS name, desktop, and the desktop name keyword. If you are going to type flutter config. On my Windows laptop, I am going to type Windows desktop. The desktop support is added for the Windows. Okay. Now, if I want to run the application on Flutter Run, I will type Flutter Run -d device name. Device name is same, is common. If you are working with the web browser, then you write Chrome. If you are working with your OS on the desktop application, you write Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. Now, also, if you are enabled the Flutter support for the desktop, you might also need to disable the support, because if you are back, if your learning purpose and you are back for production on the mobile application, then what happens is, suppose I have created a sample application here. Okay, so by default, what it will create? It will create Android, iOS, and other platforms also. So it's okay to disable if you are not working, if you're working on the production level. So you can type Flutter config, no enable your OS name and desktop. Okay, so there is also a new update. If you are not able to run the application on Flutter Run -d Mac OS, you have to type the name. There is a new update that you can type Flutter Run and it will give you a choice with all the device name, whether it's a web server, Android applications, Android device, or Chrome browser. So you can choose the digit and then you can run your application. You do not have to mention the full name like a web server, Chrome, Windows, and everything. And make sure after this, you like every configuration is enabled. You make sure you run Flutter upgrade. So install the latest updated SDK regarding desktop or web part. After upgrade, make sure you type Flutter Doctor -v. So what Flutter Doctor -v will do, it will tell you if anything is missing with your Flutter SDK regarding all the platforms. If I am going to run Flutter Doctor -v, okay, so as you can see that in my Flutter SDK, all the supports are available, so it's showing it as a device. Okay, so if you are working with a desktop application or web application and you have enabled, you have followed the procedure, but in the connected device, nothing is shown, your Windows is not showing, your Chrome is not showing, that means something has gone wrong, your SDK is not enabled for the web and desktop support. So the device will be shown and other SDKs will be shown. For the Visual Studio, like for the Windows support, it will show that you need to install the Visual Studio, and for the Android, you need to install the Android version, and for the Chrome, it's already available by default, I suppose. Also, make sure when you're installing the SDK, make sure install the same SDK version as mentioned in the Flutter SDK. If you install the lower version or upgraded version of that SDK, Flutter will not recognize that particular SDK, and your device will be not shown as a Windows. So make sure you install the same version name that is shown here in the Visual Studio. Okay. So I have already, this is a sample application for the Flutter. I have already added the web support. Now I'm going to add a Flutter desktop support. To add Flutter desktop support, I have already enabled the desktop support. Now type Flutter run -d Windows. We need to add Flutter support to this project. Windows. So now you can see the Windows folder is created here. Now you don't have to do anything specific for it. What Flutter is that is already prepare your the hardcode, your Flutter code, and run on your Flutter applications. So everything is done by your Flutter framework. To run this application on desktop, type Flutter run -d Windows. Now, for the Windows part, the Windows is not stable yet. You might, if you are working on the Windows application desktop, you will see some crashes, and hot reload and hot restart does not work perfectly. So there is some issue with the Windows application. For the Linux and Mac OS, it's like little bit easier to work. There is not much crashes in the Linux and Mac OS desktop applications, but in Windows you will face some issues. So this is a desktop application. Okay, a simple window, and so everything with the UI and everything you work with the Dart core Dart language that can work. That is with the REST APIs and with the all the UI that you use. All the Flutter packages are also included. Okay, so we have made some applications like demo application, but we want to see how actual application looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm to add some applications here, some code. Okay, we are going to make a email app as a mobile platform. So you're already familiar with the simple email app. There is an email listing, and then when you click on it, there will be a detail page. There will be screen 1, screen 2. So this is a by default feature. So if we go, so I have a simple first page is the list page. So first run this application on Android. Okay, so this is a simple application with a mail list view where there is some list view. Okay, and when click on it, the next page opens. So this is a default behavior that we work with the Android application and iOS application. There is a list widget. Okay, there is some simple list items, static items. When we go below it, there is a list view builder which is rendering each item, which the mail item is the UI for the mail list, and all the information is passed and it's rendering all the list view. And when we click on it, the next detail page is open where the information is passed and the detail page is shown. Okay, so this is a simple default behavior. So if we working on the web and desktop application, if we want to maximize this, suppose, okay, as you can see, there is a lot of blank space here and it's not looking good. So we need to optimize and make it responsive such that we have to make a desktop application and a mobile application such that it it covers all the spaces that is required here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, uh, okay, so we already make the mobile applications. Okay, now for the desktop part, we did not run in the desktop part yet. We run in the web browser. There were no issue. But for the it is important for the web and desktop that you have to mention debug default target platform override Fuchsia. Why we need to do this? Because web and desktop already arranges its asset, images, and fonts, etc. in a particular structure in particular folder. So if you are working with the Flutter application and you do not write this code, your Flutter application in the web and desktop application will not able to get any images and fonts in the release version. So if you write this line, default target platform as Fuchsia, then Flutter does everything for you and put the path of the images, fonts and everything in the support for the web and desktop applications also. So in the main folder, in the main, before the run app, you have to mention if the target platform is not Android OS, make it Fuchsia. So this time, this asset folder, if you have any asset folder, and anything regarding images or fonts, that will be supported. Now let's try to run this application in a desktop version. Okay. Okay, so now UI is ready in the desktop applications also. Okay, so there is some issue with the event. Okay, no issue. If we use this, okay, then you can see it's work like a simple. Okay. Now we want to utilize this extra space regarding this. We want to use the space. So what we are going to do, how we are going to make it responsive and how we are going to utilize the extra space. So the first way is this, to know your what devices are you running your applications. For this, there is a one class you have to make device, in which you have to pass all the information regarding the device height and width, and there is a logic that is mobile. So what I have done, that if width is greater than the height, then treat as a mobile. If is going beyond the height, then I will treat as a mobile, or treat as a web browser or a desktop. Okay, so In this way, I am going to know I can change the UI as I want, or I can change the functionality also as I want. So all the information is wrapped in the device class. When we are going to use it, on any page, we have to initialize this device object. You have to pass the height and width and some other parameters like is web or desktop. So if we go to the mail list, you can see the device object is already there with height and width. And if you want to check whether the application is running on the web part, then you have to use this package. Show page web. So this returns true or false if your application is running on a web or not. So you can mention here also. And for the desktop version, you have to check. For the desktop version, you have to check according to the at what OS you are running. You have to match according to the whether you are working on the Linux, whether you are working with the Mac OS, or working on the Windows. So we are not required here any specific feature regarding the Windows, so we can skip this. This is not required. Okay. So now what we are going to use it, if it's mobile, okay, this is a list view. I am going to add a one more page here. I will explain it what we are going to do here. Okay. Now, for the responsive, this was one, the device. The next part is how to use content with media query. As you can see in the UI, there are two black and white color boxes. That is one for the tablet and one for the mobile. So what you can use container with media query, that you can specify the particular height and width according to the device. So if your device is regarding the tablet, you can mention according to some height what is required. And if your mobile is something is mobile, then you can set your the container size according to the required. So to perform this, we can use code something like this. Something like this. Okay, suppose this is an example that if your device width is mobile, then device width it to 70%. What is the whatever the height width you want to show, you can set a constraint over using the container. And if it's something in the desktop version, that you can decrease the size or increase the size as depends upon your UI. Next is the expanded version. Now same thing can be done with the expanded version. The expanded widget works with the row and column. So what we'll do, suppose we want to restrict, we wrap every wrap content with the expanded, every child in the row we wrap with the expanded widget. And what we pass a flex. Flex is what it does, it takes a equal spacing whatever the flex has been assigned. So some flexes has been assigned 1, and on the right side flex has been assigned 3. So it will take full width in the row according to the flex. Now if we are working on a mobile application, flex on the right side is 3, so it will create third part of the device width. And if the flex is 1, it will take one part of that particular device row. Okay, in the same way, if we are working with the column, then it will take place vertically. But since it is in the horizontal manner, it is row. So this is how you can use the expanded widget also to restrict the constraint of that particular UI widget. Another way is wrap widget. Suppose if you have some content like up to 3 boxes, and suppose the UI changes, whether the device size decreases, you might it will go out of pixel overflow. So what wrap widget does, it like make sure that whatever the extended widget is there, extra widget is there, it will take to the next line. It will it work on the horizontal axis also and the vertical axis also. So is that all for the responsive widget? Okay, no, there is also very a good list of what widgets can we use for the responsive manner. You can go to the this link for the Flutter website responsive. There are also many widgets that you can use, but for my purpose, for this purpose, I can use all these three widgets, and it works for me. So it doesn't require that you have to use all the widgets in the single application. Out of many options, whatever works in your applications, and there is no constraint for it. Now for the Flutter desktop part, as we are going to use the extra spaces in the desktop application, we already have a mobile application, but for the web part, we need extra applications. So for that, we are going to use, this was the previous part where we have screen 1, screen 2. We will convert this screen into 2 widgets. Think as a like a widget. The widget which can reuse the components, and we can show that particular UI anywhere on screen. Okay. So if we imagine now this same content, there will be a widget 1 on the screen 1, and if we click on it, there will be a widget 2 on the same screen. So in this way, there are no 2 screens, there are just 1 screen. The 1 screen is overlapping, or however you want to use it. But in this application, what we are going to do, we are going to devise these 2 widgets in this manner. Now you can understand that widget 1 was the list part and widget 2 was the detail part. So when user click on it in the mobile applications, the second page opens on the top. But in the web part or desktop part or on a tablet part, we want to utilize this space according to the concept. This is called fragment that we use in Android. So widget 1 is on the left side and widget 2 is the wrong side. So as you can see with the UI, that is familiar, something with this part expanded. So I have used expanded widget here also. What we're going to do, for the widget 1, we will put expanded up to some ratio, lesser ratio, and widget 2 will be have ratio greater than the widget 1. So let's try this. This is a mail app, okay. In the home page, we are going to divide these two. This is a body. So in the desktop one, we want to be something like, if device is mobile, then we already have the UI for it, that is the list part, okay. But if the device is not mobile, that if the width of the is increases according to the height, then the new widget will render. What it will be? It will be expanded widget, a same list widget with the expanded ratio 2, and the other detail page will be expanded ratio 3. Okay, so if we try to run this application now, okay, so there was some responsive issue there. You might see some these overflow pixels. Okay, but the idea is that how you can utilize the spaces and work with the mobile and desktop also. So for the desktop, it will be look like this, and whenever I'm decreasing this height, each time the height is decreasing, the device is getting updated, and so device is mobile is also getting updated. So each time the get main view is executed, and it will check whether device is mobile or not. So currently is no, because the height is less than, and if we are going to the width is less than the height, it goes into the simple list view, that is the this widget will be true. Again, if we expand, it's not mobile, the other part executes in the row. Again, you can use same as a put a constraint using a container also, or you can put a constraint using expanded also. So this is one of the ways to work on it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, we already developed the application for the Android, iOS, web and Windows applications. Now we are going to test it on the Mac OS also. Okay, is there any questions? Is there something I've missed or you want to know? Some questions? Okay. No issue.
Seems it's all going good.
Okay,
Maybe
okay. No issue.
they're able to follow all
Okay, no issue. Okay, so I'm using the VMware
steps
for the Mac OS and the Linux part,
you are
which I'm going to show you the run the Linux applications
putting
also and Mac OS
in here.
applications also.
Yeah, so maybe it's all going good. Yeah, you can get going.
Okay. Yeah. So one thing you have to also keep in check while working with the cross-platform SDK, cross-platform that Flutter SDK keeps changing. What I have seen in the last 3 months, the Flutter SDK for the desktop is keep changing. So you have to uh, update your project also. That so one of the project that we are going to see a demo, Navoki Notes. It's been updated many times since last 2-3 months because of the Flutter Windows related and desktop related keep changing. So you have to keep update yourself with that also. For the Android, there is no much issue even if you don't update one release or the application works. But for a desktop, it doesn't work. So here we are on the Mac applications. So I already put the same sample project here, the same library. Okay. So the Windows web part is already there. Suppose we delete this Mac OS part. See, this is the same project that we have worked till now. Now if we open this project, okay, I don't know how to increase the font of this terminal, but you will know in the PPT that this is the same command, flutter create add a platform Mac OS top. So what it will create, it will not interrupt your any code regarding the Flutter or Dart part. What it will create only one extra folder regarding the Mac OS to support your Mac functionality. Nothing you already code existed will not be overwritten if you write this code. Okay. So this way you can add your support to a specific target. Okay. So the Mac OS application is added. Now we will run this command. Flutter run. Suppose we didn't know the device name. Okay. Okay, so since iOS simulator is not open, so it's already detected that there is one device, Mac OS, and it's already running application on the Mac app. So if you want to work with the desktop application, you can start with the first with the okay. Okay, here is the issue. Okay, so this is a simple application. Now you can see that on the left side there is no image icon. In the Windows application and in the browser application there was image because I was using a network image, but in the Mac OS it is not visible. Why? Because Mac OS works with a like some restricted manner. If you're working with the developing mode, the internet access is disabled, so you have to write some native permissions also. This is not in the Flutter, this is native in the Mac OS project, that you have to enable the network security. In the runner project you have to mention many platform dependent securities also to able to work with the network operations also. And same goes with the desktop application. If you are working with a desktop application in the Windows, if you have a project in your C drive, then you will not able to use any read write operation because C drive doesn't allow that. So either work on the any logical drive or run your application as run as admin. There are more ways that you can ask your application to always run in the admin mode. I've already made video for that, that you can put something like that, but that's for the another video. So this Mac application is launched. Okay. Yeah, so iOS has many restrictions regarding when you are developing, and you need to add some. You need to have an App Store account. You have to add your certificate for the team and everything. So here you get an idea of how to work with the iOS application and Mac application. Now we are going to close this. So for the Mac applications, even you make some very good app, there will be some restriction with the if you are trying to publish on the App Store. So I'm better if you are just learning purpose, if you want to make some app, okay, a good app, and you want to make your users or your fellow developers to use it, go for as an Android application because it's like a small App Store fees account, or you can go also with the Linux because recently that Canonical made that Flutter support in the Flutter SDK that you can publish your Linux application on your Snapcraft store. So Snapcraft store is like another app store that you can install various applications. You can install Flutter SDK, Visual Studio, and you can install your old application, upload it, and then download it by the command or by the GUI. There is also video available on the my channel how to upload your first Linux desktop applications. So this will be a good practice. You can make your app and you can publish it and your users can use it also. Again, Flutter Linux command, you have to type the same. Flutter is enabled here. So Flutter config enable. This time the OS name is Linux and desktop. Okay, you need to restart the terminal to support the Linux platform. Now again, if we go to the project, you can use the git clone already. I have already used predefined everything project setup, so to save time. So the Linux folder is already created. We will delete it first. Again, if you delete it, nothing will be, your project will still work because every code is in the lib folder. If you open a terminal here, Flutter create platforms. Oh, okay, you have to write platform Linux a dot. Okay. So a Linux folder has been created. Make sure again when you are working with the desktop application, keep update yourself with the latest Flutter SDK because these Linux and Windows SDKs, these project structures keep changing. So your previous project might not work if there is a new Flutter SDK here. Flutter run -d. Okay. Okay, yeah, before that, I will run flutter doctor hyphen v. Okay, so I can see that the connected device is showing as the Linux as the only device that Flutter can run. This is the device name, and these are the tool chain that is required before you work on the Linux tool chain, before you work on the Linux desktop application. Now these, how to install this, whenever if you are working first time in the Linux OS, then you can type simply flutter doctor hyphen v, and the flutter doctor will already give you all the instructions. Like here you can see in the Android, it will give you particular link, or it will also give you particular command how to install this simple application tools that is required. Okay, every command will be given in the Linux toolchain if it's not installed, because in my system it is installed, the commands are not showing here, it is already showing that it is supported here. So I'm now going to run now flutter run hyphen d Linux. Okay, so yeah, as you can see that Flutter application is run. Okay, now you can see the icon is appeared, network images appeared here. So that means Linux does not restriction regarding network applications networking when you are developing some Macs. But as you can see in the Mac OS, the network is not allowed. So you have to enter the permission there in the Mac that is available on the net. You can check Stack Overflow. Okay, so there's simple responsive UI, and again, if I go back to it, this becomes a mobile app, and this is a normal behavior of a mobile app. Again, if we go to the back to the desktop applications, the desktop application is right back. Okay, so this is how you can work with the desktop application. As you can see on the left side, there is no icon here. So there is many possible way to add icon to the Linux application. So what we are going to recently this Snap Store, this application as Snapcraft is the software where you can upload your softwares for the desktop applications. So these icons are some specific instruction you have to follow regarding specific in the Linux applications. So you can add the icon. You cannot directly add the icon right now in the Flutter applications in the Linux part. I hope you understand the desktop part, everything. I've shown you demo of each and every platform. Android and iOS was obvious, so I didn't show that. It will already work simple basic applications, but you get the idea. Okay. Now next is the demo of Navoki Notes. So what is the Navoki Notes? Navoki sense. So I said earlier that while I was working, I was researching more about this project regarding Flutter application for the cross-platform. There was not much resources. So what I have done, I have started making UI for that. Let's see what we can do with it. And after I achieve some UI and features with it, I started working with the APIs part. So instead of making my own API, I use the Firebase. So as you can see the device, this cross-platform Navoki Notes is open source. The project code is available on the my Twitter profile. Okay, so you can see that this is a mobile UI, the same application on the same concept that we discussed here with the device, with the container constraint, with the wrap widget, with the expanded widget. It is same applied on this applications also. So you can make mobile application, desktop application, and a web application, and a PWA. So I have not worked with the PWA like first time, but what it seems that you add some configuration for the PWA, and your Chrome already supports a PWA configuration. So you can install the progressive web apps on your mobile also and your desktop applications also. Obviously, there will be some limitations to it, but I did not know much about the PWA. So that's. So what features contains? You can add the feature, add some notes list. Whatever the notes have been added. There is a dark theme available with the notes. You can add, delete, update your notes according to the Inspiration is from the Google Keep, as you can see. And then there is a color picker, similar. Then you can choose your color and put some color on your particular node, and it will be updated in your file store. And the authentication is done with the, okay. So what in the backend I've used Flutter authentication as the Firebase authentications, and Cloud Firestore as a backend. Okay, and it is protected by the Firebase security rules. So also that only the authenticated user has access to your nodes only. No other user can access. If you want to check the code regarding the start the repo on this profile, my profile Navoki Notes, you can get there. You can add some more features to it, because obviously there's most possibility. Or if you want to make something of your own, you can pull the code and write something over that project, because that project is already set up with the all platform. Okay, and obviously there are more to it. Use other features of the Firebase that you can use, and also this application is available on the Google Play and the Snapcraft. So if we go on the Snapcraft, so there is one application I tested with the Flutter publishing app that you can check. This is a counter application. This is a simple dummy app that we Flutter made by default. This is a simple counter application. Other application is you can install this application on your Linux applications, Linux platform, and you can use this. For the Windows and Mac OS, I was not able to upload on the App Store because there may be some restrictions with it. So what I've done, I've already made the release versions of that and uploaded on the GitHub as in the release profile. So you can download the exe and .i profile and you can use, but it's for demo purpose only, not for actual store some information right now. Now, one of the questions that I have seen many times in the Reddit, whether Stack Overflow, Facebook groups, Twitter, that one of the questions that people ask, is Flutter ready for productions? So I thought I should cover this also because even the beginners and who are working with the other profile like web developers or any other stuff, they also are very curious. And every week there is some question regarding this, is Flutter ready for production? So we will get to the answer. First, we will know what we can do with the Flutter as a cross-platform, what we can do, where to use it as a business prototype. So what I personally use in my company, Enrich AI, we have to generate some ideas and we have to work some prototypes to show it to the clients, whether it's including mobile and web application. We have to mention some IoT devices and show onto the dashboard on the mobile and the web panel. So what we do, I've asked my CEO to if we work with the Flutter web also and the desktop, the mobile also, not the desktop part, on the mobile also. So we were able to make some prototype within a week to 10 days. We can make some prototype and able to show to the clients. Obviously that code is not for the production, that just for the prototype version to get your idea into something feasible, into workable position. But only that code can be used only the mobile part, not the web part. For the learning purpose, you can make portfolios, you can make your own companies or your own some software related landing pages. You can work with the admin panels with the Flutter web and the desktop applications like charts, reports, everything works with it. And obviously there are more, as you can think, many more applications, mostly regarding the web services, not with the native features. With the native features, there are some restrictions regarding web, and there are some less restriction with the web because web has more advanced features you can implement, but for the desktop there are some restriction with the native things. So production, yes, for the mobile you can use. For the web part you can almost, because you can implement the Flutter web and the Dart web, you can, as you can with the Flutter web and the Dart web, you can implement many features, but still you have to look for many things like some specific code, third-party libraries, and browser compatibility. That's also an issue. So it is there, but you can make something and you can publish it for the time being, but not on a heavy where you have large traffic. Do not make for that, but you can make some simple block type for yourself. For the desktop part, for the Windows, I will say no, not yet, because Windows has still some crash issues and hot restart and hot reload issues. For the Mac OS and Linux, almost they are yet what I have experienced. They are stable. They do not face some crash issues. You can work with the web services application, and with the Linux also and the Mac OS also, you can submit to the App Store. For the Linux, I know that you can simply publish your app on the App Store freely. Okay. So what are the tips? Some regarding if you're working with the cross-platform application, there are some tips. If you are working with the file handling, Dart.io works with the mobile and desktop. You can file perform read and write operations, but it does not support in the web. If you are new to it, so like first time we didn't know that, so I thought there's some tips you should save your time. Use Dart HTML. For the web part, there's separate package in the Dart HTML to handle HTTPI and HTTP responses and file handling. For a desktop port, there are some window crashes and hot related issues. Platform native permissions also required. So for the development purpose, you can use the Flutter code, Dart code. But if you're going to make a release version, there will be some restriction of the platform native. So you have to look for it. You have to study according to that. And then there is one more tip. If you are working on the desktop applications or any web application, you can use this library package on the PubDev, class local storage, that you can use for the simply like a shape reference, like a local storage, temporary storage for storing user information or simple data. Also, if you are not able to use this application, desktop already works with the file.io package, so you can make file application or anything in the any drive. For the C drive, you need admin permission, but for the logical drive, you can work with the .io also for storing your own informations. Yeah, thank you for that. There may be some okay, so I think that's okay for now. Okay, okay,
Awesome.
okay. One more thing. Yeah, just one thing. I forgot to show the demo of that Navoki Notes. Let me just show a small sample here. So this Navoki Notes I built around, like, it took me around only 20 days. I mean, with respect to what we have implemented with the UI part and the Firebase. So it was time saving when you can work with the Flutter application for the desktop, web and mobile at the same time. And it is pure Dart. There is no, what happens here? There is no dependency in here. Okay, just a wait, main page. Yeah, so no tab, okay. Okay, it's a widget part. Oh, it was to be the main Dart. Okay, so the Firebase, if you want to see some Firebase, also how you can implement, then you can tweet or DM me. How do you find packages that work on? We will get to that questions. How to find packages that work on platform. See, one thing I have learned with working with the Flutter, whatever application make, the packages are very useful. The developer community is useful that they are making packages as fast as the feature is released. But always try to learn, do not depend too much on the packages, because the packages sometimes breaks. There are some features customization missing. So what I've also learned, to make some packages by yourself, not for the even for the platform dependent or just a UI widget. So many times it works. Many times you will get an update, but for the packages you have to, you start, if you are learning the Flutter, you have to start working on the packages also. That will benefit if you are working with the third party application a lot, because not every third party application has its Flutter package. So this is a sample browser code web app, and if we put a responsive on it, okay, so this is same application work on the mobile part. And also I have run this same code on the code pen also. This UI can be also represented in the code pen. So if we work on it, okay, this has to be, okay, no issue. I'll run this one. There was some issue with that. That was old project. I will try to just run this. So this in this you can see there is in this Navoki node you can see all the folders: Android, there is iOS, Linux, Mac OS, Web, and Windows. Okay. So recently I've also published this application on the Snapcraft and the App Store. So for this you will need some special files that require, that is the Snapcraft YAML file that you can see, and there is some Snap folders which contains some files, desktop files related to Linux, and the icon folder. So you can publish on the Linux App Store. So the application is launched now. Okay. Just a minute. You have to keep removing API keys from your open source project. Make sure that. So I'm just going to add the key here because I uploaded last time, so I have removed the key. Okay. Just in case by mistake the key upload on the GitHub. Some easy mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to hot restart right now. Okay, so this happens due to the new update here, I suppose. Just 1 minute. This is a small change. History. Done. No details page, no list page. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is a home page. If you work on the mobile, this is how it. If you work on the desktop, this expand. Okay, there is a dark theme here that is using that is used animation controller here that you can change into dark mode and the day mode. There is some links here regarding the channel. There is a logout button. If you want to add something, click on it, type some title, enter note. You can pick your own color here, suppose orange, and you don't have to save. It is already submitting. Whenever you go back, it is already submitting in the Firebase, and it's been updated. Okay, even you can change, update the existing note also. So it goes into Firebase and then refreshes it. Then you can log out. So this was a simple application. It took me a lot of time. Or as you can see also here, this is a, you have to like break your components, how things works. The first is the header part, where is the icon and let's get started now part. And then there is a login form. these are the two different widgets. Okay. So if you are working with the web applications, you have to use row columns according to that and use expanded widget according to that. So this thing change. So everything is working mostly because of the condition that we put is the device. Every information is getting through this. So we can know what is happening. Also, this is a basic implementation of provider is also implemented in this project. So that's all for now. Okay. You know? Yeah.
Thank you, Shivam. Thank you, Shivam.
Wow,
It's amazing.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah, the
All
address
With all
everywhere.
everything in one.
And the Navoki Notes is so smooth, so smooth. Even the first onboarding part or login part is actually when I create actually that responsive UI, like if I scale up and scale down, so like it seems like my UI sometimes breaks, and before switching to the responsive UI, like from mobile to a desktop UI. So it
Yeah.
sometimes breaks, but yeah, UI was really smooth, really smooth.
Yeah, it will break. It's not like it will break, and that's okay. If you are working with the mobile to web, it will break. So you have, if you are making some application, you have to understand, and you have to already have an idea that what you are going to make mobile and how you can convert into web application and making proper use of space. You have to get idea with all the applications.
Indeed, like your UI is so smooth, and it runs really well. So thank you for so much for
Okay.
this. Okay, so we do have some few questions. One is how to scale the app on the different mobile devices. Like talking only about mobile devices, like sometimes we got some smaller scale devices. Sometimes they have like a low resolution, so we need to take care of that thing too. How can we do it so?
Yeah, so scaling, obviously scale depends upon the UI also what we are going to do. So there are many ways that suppose if the UI is not coming on the full screen that you have to use a scrollable view. Not every UI can become within the login part. Suppose this is a login part. We can take example of this. Okay. If we go beyond this application, that will not work. Obviously. Okay.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay, so we have to make a constraint. If it is not going to work, then you have to scroll view. You have to add a scroll view to support that. So you can, a user can obviously navigate to the other UI parts also.
Yes, indeed.
Then you have to test with the scale factors, what is already provided in the media query. Then with that, and then there is a flexible widget. Then there is a wrap widget that we explained here. That supports
Yes,
device is going out of the bounds, so it will automatically make your child widget to the next line. So
perfect.
there is no single answer. There are many widgets. That's what Flutter is about. You can wrap
Indeed,
many widgets to the
indeed.
parent widget, and you can achieve many functionalities.
Yeah, so you can actually do so using media query, or also you can using expanded widget or using a graph widget. So there are
Yes,
lots of ways. Yeah,
yes.
yep.
So it depends upon the UI what you are making.
Uh, Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. So I hope Elias, it answers your questions. The next question is actually a non-question, but Kisan Singh would like to see your device class, the device class that
Okay.
you have created for your application.
So what device class is used that, or so this is not something new that I've already seen in this one of the presentations. Someone has used the device, so I just modified it for the mobile part, desktop part, and the web part. So what device part is doing, wrapping all your device information and is constrained, so you can easily use and put conditions on the UI and the logic.
Ah, good.
So, okay, so this is a device. There is simple constructor where you pass the height and width, whenever your height and width is get updated. So height and width is mostly updated in the build function. If you are changing the constraint of the UI, it gets rebuilt. And I've also put a condition: if device width is greater than the height, then it's not a mobile. Then it will treat as a web or a desktop device, that it has some larger canvas area.
Okay. So essentially asking, there is no tablet breakpoint, right?
No, you can work with the tablet also. Also, with the tablet, there is also a widget called orientation builder. You can use that also. There is no restriction. You can use this also. So
So
for the tablet, you can see here for the Navoki Notes, this works on the tablet also. The same way.
okay, so like yeah, the next question was all about the landscape mode in mobile. So this previous answer, the previous answer actually answered this question too.
Yeah.
So
You can use the orientation builder that keep track of whatever the device is on orientation. It will give you some value, and you can work according to that particular value. That's what you
yes,
want to do after orientation.
yes. So what I am understanding right now is like the whatever you have like did in the device class. If you go for a landscape mode for the or in the tablet mode,
Mm.
so our web or desktop version of the UI will be shown over there, right?
Yeah, if you want to make it.
If you want to, yeah.
Obviously.
But
Yeah. It will
initially,
be same. It will
yeah,
be same because in this the width is already increased, and it will be a large space area, and
yes,
you have to like, as I've seen. This is what example I've shown: the email app, the example of Gmail app, what already uses Gmail. If you open the Gmail app in your tab or browser, the list on the left side and the detail page on the right side.
perfect, perfect. Thank you so much.
So this is a concept mostly taken from the Android developers that you use in the fragments.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, even I am an Android developer, so I actually take lots of inspiration from the Android. Good. Okay. So any other question, folks? So you can actually come up on and unmute yourself and ask your question directly
Yeah,
if you want.
there was one, Bhavik, how to scale the application on different mobile devices. Hi Ayush, good morning. Thanks for joining.
Punam,
Am I not audible well?
Yes, yes.
So the question was how to scale the application on different mobile devices. I just scrolled through the chat box and yeah, it is there.
yes, yeah, we
Yeah,
already asked it.
answer that.
Yeah,
Oh wow, maybe
so
I
the
was
question has been answered.
away
Yes,
for a while. Wonderful.
yes.
Okay, I hope Elias, you got your question answered and you got your doubts cleared on this.
Yes. So if you go to the pub dev, there is already, they mentioned that it is working with the Android web and or desktop. They already mentioned. So you can identify according to that. So obviously, if regarding desktop, there are not much plugins available right now. So you can work with the web and the Android part. For the desktop part, you can use web and UI, REST APIs, and the web part. For the native features, is still in progress because we need some native features. For that, you can create a plugin. I've also made a plugin for the desktop applications also. So you can use a plugin with the C++, or there's also a work in progress, some packages that are not stable, like Win32 package. You can use some native features of the Windows applications, but you will not find any much desktop applications yet. Yes. So what I've shown in this demo UI of the Navoki node, this is pure Dart, though nothing native feature is being used. For the Firebase, we use the Firebase REST API. Firebase also provide everything with the REST API also. So that's why it's working with the authentication part also and Cloud Firestore also. No, no, because that will not support it in the desktop part. That's why, because each has a different SDK. Desktop. I think yeah, it's in progress. But it's not stable yet.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Sim. Okay, so you Kisan has shared some code snippet over here, like how he actually, break point, how we actually decide what screen size it is and what device should he so
To support
yeah.
different things for the
It's just a static. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's just a static numbers, but that are fixed for some Android devices. So you can actually uh, check it out. Yeah. Beside of that, yeah, Uttam has asked one question. What about database? How to manage database for different platforms?
you don't have to manage database for different platforms. There is simple one database. You work with the REST APIs and everything work with that.
Okay. No, I think he meant like for the local one, like
Okay.
SQ Flight or
So for
anything
the
like
local
that.
work, for the Android and iOS application, you can use the basic share preference in iOS storage, whatever is available in the native part. For the web part, they are cookies. Then you can use to
Yeah.
store local informations. And for the desktop port, you can use .io package, simple file read and write, and create files like a JSON file or any type of file, simple read write operation, and store information in your application.
Nice. Good. Okay. Adding to the Shivam's points, I think I have seen some packages, and I've seen some local databases packages called Hive and more that are actually that might be built on using Dart only. So it should work on all the devices.
Yeah, you can use. There are some work in progress. You can use Dart FFI also. People,
Uh-huh.
there were things I've seen some articles. People are working on it, so
Cool.
they might be available.
If you can share a link after the meetup to the communities, it will be really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyone else having any questions?
I want this PPT. How will we get that?
Okay, I will send it just after the session.
Sure. So this is what the question in the chat
And
box
more
as well.
questions.
People
You
wanted
will
the
get the
PPT. Sure. So guys, we'll be sharing the PPT with all his permission, and whatever lookups you want to keep with you, you'll get them.
So whatever I have made this email application, sample application, I have already uploaded on the GitHub, and I will upload the PPT in the GitHub also in the same repo. Okay. So we'll get the both projects and the PPT.
Along with that, Shivam, how can they get in touch with you for any questions or anything they want to share with you? Maybe a feedback.
Okay, yeah, I really like feedback, whether it's good or bad. So I really need the feedback. So you can DM me on the Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, Insta, or you can subscribe if you have some specific tutorial you need something. You can follow me on the Navoki YouTube channel. My
Awesome,
username is
awesome.
the Shivam LKO.
Great, great. Sounds all good, guys. Hoping you guys are able to see and listen him well, and this could be helpful. And you can definitely get in touch with him. This anyone who is coming over for the meet and conducting a session. The one common thing between all of them is that they love helping everyone with whatever knowledge that they've gathered so far. So this is again one thing for him as well. He would be very happy and glad to help you with your queries, because along with being a coding person, he has been that person as well who were running out of resources, but then he took his who seek it as an opportunity and tried making it for everyone. So here he is. Shivam, would you like to tell us how you started with Flutter?
Yeah, so like 2.5 years ago, like I was working as a freelancer at that time. So I was working as an Android project. So at that time I came to know about the Flutter. So I started learn Flutter and handling projects regarding that Flutter also. So around it's 2.5 years, yeah, before the Flutter was released. So I started working till then. So then after I switched to the job, and that's how I was still working in the job part for the Flutter. So at the start there were many issues with the
Any
Flutter.
notable difference that, yeah, any notable difference that you would wish to share with us?
Yeah, most people were the biggest question that people ask is this one: is Flutter ready for production? So at that time there were some issues, there
Very
were some
true.
crashes, but as the Flutter SDK keeps updating, their issues are resolved. So for the mobile pad, yes, you can learn it. There is the one the option is also that question about the job is available now. So the jobs are also increasing for the Flutter. So you can learn for the mobile application, and you can apply for it. But in with respect to Flutter, you will also have some. You have to learn some things about Android and iOS also, because that is required in the end when you are working with the third party and native applications. So little bit information is also required if you are working with the Flutter.
Very true, very true. Like, because knowing the background is always helpful.
Hmm.
Awesome. And so the thing I wanted to know, like from all of us, I guess, that isn't it a triggering thing that switching to a technology which is not so famous and known. So we see that there are a lot of jobs coming up for Flutter developers and people working with Flutter. But isn't it a bit doubtful that how we can quickly jump on something, jump on a technology completely relying on that, which is not so known and famous, now comparing with Java and Xamarin and other things which are already so established in the tech world?
So no,
Or is it like just give it a try and let's see how we go on?
that's one part, but there is always an opportunity how you can grab it. When I work, when I working, I still work. I did not like stop working on the Android. I still work on Android because I'm a mobile developer. So mobile platform is something we have to look for whatever is coming. So is it Flutter or Android native? First thing. Second thing, at that time it was just the opportunity that I took, that because there's on in Android there's already competition, and Flutter there's adopting Flutter already takes me like a good career change. The career was good according to the when I adopted the Flutter also. So you don't have to switch right now. You can try learning something, and it's not like you will be changing pure, like you will learning something new. That's not it. If you are working with the Java background, you will understand with the Dart also. If you are working with the JavaScript background, you can still learn Dart also. So Flutter is easy as respect to the UI part and the basics. It is a basic syntax that they have already taken syntax from the Java and JavaScript, you can say. So it will be not difficult to learn that much. So you can try.
That makes sense.
And if you are in OT, you are in IT job, there will be some competitions, and you have to keep upgrades yourself according to the technology, whatever is there.
Right, right. Adding to that, we just wanted to share Sunny and Bharat, even Bhavik, we have some. We got to know that some of our inner circle, like friends and professional network, the people are looking for good Flutter developers. So if you guys are interested in looking for such opportunities, do let us know. We might share we might share the ones with you. Bhavik and Bharat, Sunny, do you guys want to tell some of them now? But the beat or no short in requirement of the kind of things that we have been inquired for.
Yes, even like I just today morning I just got one requirement that they have one requirement for Flutter developer. Even so, yeah. already I've said them no, but yeah, they already asked me like if I got some recommendation. So if anyone want to switch, so they can like, just ping us or ask in everyone in and anyone in the community. Probably everyone is getting this kind of
What many platforms are out there for the job. There are many Flutter. Just search Flutter. There will be many jobs available in your near region. Also, there is some internship available in my India company. Also, if you want to apply, you can apply there also.
yeah. Here we go. So if anyone want to apply
Yeah, so
for
that's what we
internship,
were.
so
Yeah,
So,
that's what we were basically focusing on. That if we have, like, when we recommend someone, it gets +1 to their profile and application. So just to help them, if at all we can, and you guys can let us know. We'll try
so
to get it on plate as much as we can.
Yeah. Any more
Yes,
questions? Uh,
from some days, like I was getting so many Flutter developer job offers and all those things. So if anyone is looking for job, or if anyone is looking for people who work for your company or project, so they can tweet or tag me, Flutter Ahmedabad, Bhavik, Sunny, or Poonam. So we will.
yes.
if you're looking for a job in Flutter, I said there is possibility, a good possibility. Also, it depends lots of what company you're joining. It's a startup, big, medium, or MNCs, and the experience counts very much. If you are a beginner, so obviously the main thing motivates person is the money. So for the beginners, there are opportunities for the Flutter also. But if you are some experienced person also in the mobile or in the web, and if you learn Flutter, then you have a plus, and you might get some good benefit in the industry.
Great, great. That's wonderful. Guys, any more questions for Shivam? Or you don't need to feel shy or hesitated about, because everybody is learning. Even the speaker, he himself is evolving every time. So if you have any question, just put it in the
So,
chat box, or if you want to put
so,
later on, yes, you
so
can.
after one thing I want to share that after completing this Navoki notes, like there was more intriguing thing what can be done. So I've already working with some other desktop applications, the simple. So I've made
Right.
okay, I will show you some projects here also. I think
Yeah,
you
please
have
go ahead.
uh,
We don't want to miss out a genius content at all.
yeah. So there are two things good about it, because when I started it, I didn't know how I will ever do it. First thing, that's the always a point, because there are no resources for that particular thing. So it's very hard to find. So I've already made the application, and you can see there is a terminal. This terminal is a desktop application for the Windows. You can execute your shell commands and get the output, just like a PowerShell or CMD. And with particular theme, you can run command, and yeah, you can get the output. So this is a basic preview version of that. This works on Windows and macOS, not the line. I did not try the Linux part, so you can check that out also. And this is also a customizable theme. You can customize your theme according to your in the terminal according to your need. Like this is a Git Bash profile, or this is a Ubuntu theme, and this is a PowerShell theme. Then there is one more work according to the working with the canvas, that what we can achieve in the desktop application with the canvas. So I'm just trying. I'd like to experiment things, like how things goes. Because if you are not able to find it, just try to make something go. So what I do, I experiment things, try a few things, and write a blog or video on it. So if you want to make some updates, or you want some specific tutorials or some suggestions, you can comment on the channel, or you can subscribe to the blog. And also, if you are interested in writing some Flutter blogs, you can also join the my blog part.
This is too good. Wow. Guys, find Shivam everywhere, wherever you can. And learn all what you want to. Okay. Okay, before we close, do you guys have any questions? Shim, can you show that slide again where they can get in touch with you?
The
Just if
Shivam L.
somebody just missed out or
Just search the Shivam LKO. That's the common username for all my social profiles. You can search that.
wonderful, wonderful. Hope you guys are making note of it or just saving it somewhere and really
So,
expecting that this could help you. Yes,
so
Shivam.
this was my first session. So I hope that's okay. I need feedbacks.
It
If
was
it's
it was wonderful.
yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, feedbacks would help even us as well to get what we should plan next time and what Shivam can present again because we definitely felt like super amazing have hosting you at Flutter Ahmedabad.
Okay. Any more questions? No.
Perfect. So looks like we should wrap up things now. So beside of uh, I would like to thank everyone who joined today. Who is who are actually not live right now, but who joined today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Shivam, for sharing your knowledge with us, sharing your uh, experience with us. It was really wonderful to know you, to know your content. Uh, Thank you so much. I would like to thank Ansul. Thank you, Ansul. Ayush, thank you for joining. Thank you, Bharat, for joining. Elias, thank you so much for joining. Hemant, thank you so much for joining. Kisan, thank you for joining. Michael, sorry, Michael, thank you for joining. One click it. Hey, one click it. Thank you for joining. P.S. Agrawal, thank you for joining. Poonam Jha, yeah, thank you. Our wonderful host, thank you for joining. Ravi Rawal, thank you for joining. Ritvik, thank you. Sunny, yeah, Sunny, hey, Sunny. Sunny, thank you for joining. Yeah, and yes, thank you for joining. Yeah, so thank you all. Thank you so much for this. And thank you so much for spending your Sunday with us and spending your really good Sunday, comfy morning with us. You know, it's raining outside right now, at least in Ahmedabad, and people don't like to be in a bed only in the Sunday morning. So thank you so much all for making to the meet.
Like every time we say, we hope that your investment that we kept asking that join us now, please stay tuned, and all the inviting thoughts that we have put in so far. We are really hoping that this an hour of session could help you learn something and things that you were stuck with. Maybe you would be able to push yourself now. And yeah, just hoping that this could add a lot of tech and knowledge in you now. And this Sunday, the investment of an hour could really turn out a fruitful one. We again thank all of you for joining and spending your time with us. Really looking forward to have more things organized in even a better way. But for that, you guys can let us know what you guys are stuck with, whatever you are developing now, and if you want to present something, yes, you are very very welcomed. We the all thing that we as a community plan to do is to be the middleware that this is the speaker and these are the audience that they want to learn something and this is the person who can tell them the things and then we can just try to bridge them up. So this is what we are trying to do and let us know if you guys want to learn something. We would be there. We'll try to do whatever possibilities that we can. And yeah, that's all from us. Thank you so much, Shivam, for being with us, for believing
Thank
that
you all
yeah, we can post your
for the
content.
pleasure.
Yes, super happy and very very privileged to have you. It was again another good session added in the Flutter Ahmedabad bucket list. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Bhavik, Sunny, if you guys want to say something, and then we can wrap this up.
So not from my end, I would like to thanks again everyone. And from my end, I would like to end it as Vinod. Vinod, everyone is Vinod.
I am a no. What is this Vinod? Yeah, is this someone's nickname or what? Like
Check
I
out the
don't
play
use so
point.
much social media.
Go to Slay Point.
Go to the slay point. Yeah, over YouTube, go to the slay point. nicely.
This is
You will get
distracting.
it
Okay, fine. Yes, we will share the recording and even the PPT as well. We won't let you guys wait till the end of the day, but sooner it will be there. You guys can just check Flutter Ahmedabad Twitter page for that. But it would be everything would be updated over there. Arish, I'm with you. I don't know why it is trending, but maybe this people are using it so much, so it would be something. Let's keep it like that. Okay, I think we are all good to wrap this up now. Thank you so much again. We hope to see you soon. We're only
Thank
waiting
you.
for this COVID to get end and we can have a face-to-face meetup. Super excited for that.
Yeah.
But again, till then, please take care of yourself because this is very important.
Yeah. Also, what you can do, you can try to make some over cross platforms. Just pull that project and make something over that, and just share on the Twitter. Just simply. Yeah.
Yes, very, very much relatable. This is what we can definitely try. All well, great. Thank you so much, guys. Here we close, ending the recording, and thank you. See you
Thank
soon
you.
again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shivam. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a great day.
Have an amazing weekend and Sunday.